Hello everyone, this is Introvert Shy Guy and welcome to my gameplay of Super Luigi Galaxy. So yeah, I just got done finishing Persona 4 and as usual and also it's December right now as you guys know. I haven't set the date yet of course, but I'm going to. But like as tradition, of course I always play, Super Mario Galaxy or Super Luigi Galaxy that I would say because I'm playing as Luigi just so then I could wrap up some of my last thoughts before the New Year's, I would say, as I've done all the time as tradition. So yeah, anyway, today is December the 3rd, so it's my father's birthday today. So a big happy birthday to him. He turned 60, so it's a really big celebration that they're having over there. They went on a cruise to I don't know where, but someplace. But yeah, my dad really wanted to do a cruise ship kind of birthday thing, so that's what they're doing, and so they're having fun right now. Basically, just my parents, my brother, and as my cousins, mainly my only cousin that came from Canada, and my uncle who just came back from Syria and stuff. It's the uncle that it's my uncle that mostly stays in Syria, and he now has Canadian citizenship back in 2024, but he mostly resides in Syria and stuff. I kind of talked to him before, but yeah, he just came to visit the first time to the United States, so we're really happy to have him, and I can't wait to see him when I get back. So yeah, they're having a big celebration, and that's what they're doing right now. And you guys might be thinking if maybe me being left out, if I feel bad about it. Honestly, not really, because one, I don't really like cruise ship kind of vacations, so I'm kind of glad that I wasn't able to go in a way. Even though yeah, it is my dad's 60th birthday, but there are other ways to celebrate. I just don't like having a cruise ship. But of course, if I had nothing to do, of course I would have gone. If I could, but the thing is though is that my classes are still ongoing and my final exams are next week, so of course I had to not do the whole celebration thing because it is what it is. Or I mean, of course, and also I had classes to do. Of course, the classes I kind of did were kind of short and stuff. Oh right, yeah. I'm finding the planets with the comets. If I can't find any, then of course I'll go to the Hungry Luma and just do that. I do remember that from the last SLG part, I kind of defeated Bowser, and you had to defeat Bowser in order to get the other comets available. I didn't really know that. I thought you could leave him last, but no, you have to defeat Bowser in order to get to a new star. So that's kind of what I did, and now the comets are available. So hence we can get more power stars now. So reason why I'm actually making a gameplay video right now is that I'm pretty sure you guys all already know this, and it's something that I've been looking forward to for a long time. But basically, the long-awaited game Metroid Prime 4 is coming out tomorrow, and I'm really excited for it. It looks absolutely gorgeous and everything. Of course, I want to say all my thoughts and stuff, like what I liked about the game, and maybe some of my concerns that I have, and of course, maybe some of you guys as well. I guess it's just one concern because everything else looks great. But yeah, I mean, there is this one thing that is kind of maybe an issue, but I want to delve into that because it's not the first time that has happened. I'm not talking about Other M, by the way. It's it's done in Prime 3, but you guys know what I'm talking about once I get to that. But first, let me talk about what I really liked about looking at Metroid Prime 4 and everything that I'm that made me really excited for. I mean, of course, if you guys want to know about why I love the Metroid series and everything, of course, I'm not gonna delve into that because I kind of already did. Just watch my Kirby 64 gameplays because I kind of talked about that when I was for that upcoming game, Metroid Dread back then. So I already kind of talked about that. So you guys should watch the Kirby 64 gameplays on Metroid first before you watch this one, because of course it kind of ties into that. I mean, I'm of course not really gonna bring it up or anything, but you guys know what I'm saying. It's a gameplay video where I talk about why I love Metroid, so of course go watch that first before you watch this. But anyway, so on to what I really love about Metroid Prime 4, based on the trailers and everything. Yeah, the game absolutely looks fucking gorgeous. I mean, the environments are more complex. It feels even more kind of feels very open worldy now. Before, it's it kind of still feels a little bit of an open world, but you can tell that there are some restrictions here and there, which of course doesn't really dampen the environment and stuff. But of course, it's kind of what Metroid is like really about. Like it's very kind of restricted in a way. Now, of course, like it's very open world and like very like luscious and stuff. Well, but yet not deviating away from how Metroid like feels and stuff. So like I'm really happy how the game looks and everything. Like obviously there's like the motor there's the motorcycle section that was like absolutely badass and everything. I also love that like Akira shot they kind of did for the trailers. Like I thought it was really nice, like a nice little callback and stuff. I wouldn't say a callback, but no, yeah, it's not a callback; it's a reference. I mean, but I mean, like a Metroid game paying homage to Akira. So I haven't watched the movie, by the way. I don't really know what it's about. I just know it kind of looks kind of gory, I would say, but it is like one of the fine like highlights of Japanese media and stuff. Maybe at some point in my life I'd probably watch and check it out, but I'm just mostly into the like you guys know, like, say Demon Slayer or Attack on Titan, but maybe, like, also Studio Ghibli kind of thing, so I don't know if maybe Akira might be on my, like, watch list, or, like, my preference, I would say, but, I haven't tried it, though, so really, I just say I have no opinion of it, but I will say, though, I guess I will say, though, it's very well animated, I'll give it that, so, yeah, so that's one thing I could say. Other than that, I have no opinion on Akira, and maybe at some point in my life I might watch it, or maybe not. Who knows? So yeah, I like that nice reference and everything. So yeah, there's a motorcycle section. One of the comments literally said that it could be really not a like great thing that they add, or a really bad thing that they did, because it's like it could be like you could have a motorcycle that could go to different worlds. But the thing is, though, it's like if it's just a barren like empty land, like people might say that it's kind of like a gimmick or like a waste of time kind of thing, like why have this if there's not going to be like much to utilize. But thankfully, of course, when I watched the latest trailer, that there are a lot of stuff that happens and stuff that you would have to collect when you're doing this kind of stuff. So there are stuff to do. Okay, so there is absolutely no comments that appeared. That's interesting. I was expecting at least one somewhere, but I guess I'm gonna have to get to a Luma. As also those hungry Lumas there, they require a lot more star bits, so I'm thinking of just doing the comets first, so then I could collect some star bits, before then I can pay for a new planet to form. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. So anyway, we're done with exploring everywhere. Even though I know I don't have to, I could have just like gone to the thing, but you guys know me. I like to do it manually, mainly so that I can have an excuse to like talk and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just 20. So we'll do that. I'll continue what I'm talking about after this shit happens. Anyway, so I'll just also say actually one thing I want to mention is that I'm still working as I'm recording this. I'm still working on edits on like making Persona 4 like parts and everything. It is going well, and I have made a few additional parts as of right now. Of course, I have one more to make that one gameplay finish, but I wanted to first make this gameplay first. Then I would like okay, so there's one in the terrace and the kitchen. Of course, we could find it. Yeah, so I'm working on the edits and stuff. Hopefully, I'll get maybe all these parts out before like December is over. Because the thing is that obviously I'm recording this gameplay like December 3rd. But the thing is though is that purple. Oh man, maybe this is the purple coin thing. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Because the thing is though is that I'm making this gameplay, like, obviously in December 3rd and stuff, but the thing is, though, is that I'm not going to release this part until after all the Persona 4 parts are released. So, of course, I got to work on those parts first before this is released, so I have no idea when this video is going to be posted. Could be posted... I'm hoping it's posted before the 25th or before I leave for vacation, because, like, it could be kind of awkward if this comes out like after December and stuff, but we'll see what happens. But I'm going as fast as I can with this. Honey Hive purple coins, yeah. I think I remember this is the one with the purple coins you gotta race, but I think it's actually easy enough to do, right? Or maybe it's just you just collect and there's no time limit. I hope it's just the collecting and no time limit, because that's like, oh, okay, good. This is more chill. Sweet. Okay, I'm happy about that. Okay, so yeah, so I really love the environment of Metroid Prime 4. I mean, like, it looks absolutely gorgeous. The motorcycle part looks also gorgeous. Like, it's good that they put some, like, more content in this part, because as I've said, like one comment correctly mentioned that like that maybe it could be like a waste of time kind of thing, but thankfully that's not the case. I mean, well, I haven't played it, but it looks like it's not the case. Yeah, and what else? And like it looks really nice and stuff. The thing actually that's also pretty interesting though is like despite it being part of the Prime series, I don't think Phazon is going to be like the main focus in this, because like because obviously like in the end of Prime 3 you destroy the planet Phase, which is kind of like the source of all Phazon basically. If you guys don't know like the story, like I mean the 3 Prime trilogy kind of has its own different story, but Phazon is always the main focus. And what is Phazon? Basically, it's this like radioactive, all-powerful material that came from this, I would say like a virus kind of planet, I would say. And I say it's a virus because its sole purpose that when it like just came into existence is that it unleashes these meteors or these seeds basically to other planets, and when these seeds land on these planets, they then infect the planet and its surroundings, and like thus then turn that planet into another phase kind of planet. So hence it's this that like the planet Phase basically is just one ginormous like a virus planet basically, and and hence the main focus of it is like Samus going to these planets that have been infected or contaminated with Phazon, and basically like utilizing that power to like destroy your enemies and stuff. And then of course at Prime 3 is to destroy the Phazon source once and for all basically. It starts with when you go to Talon 4 basically, where the Phazon kind of infected that planet and they managed to seal it, but of course then there's a Metroid that went in and then mutated to become Metroid Prime, and like hence that's how this whole thing happened. And then of course then you have the I forgot this one other planet, but it's the one with the Luminoth, the people. That's what the people are called, the one with the light and dark kind of thing. And basically how their main enemy called the Ing, and how they were formed was like when the Phazon seed kind of entered this like light source planet. Basically what it kind of did was that the Phazon kind of changed to morph into these evil beings called the Ing basically. So it was kind of an interesting like setup how this virus planet like didn't kind of turn out what it used to be, what it wanted it to be, and turned into something completely different basically, because this entire planet is a light source kind of planet, so hence like the Phazon turned into a dark kind of energy kind of thing. So yeah, then there's that, and then of course then you have Prime 3 where like the main thing is that you had to go to or mainly 3 planets and stuff and try to stop these seeds from like infecting these planets basically, like and that's kind of the gist of it. And then of course you face Dark Samus, who becomes the main like controller of all Phazon, and then once you kill her, then you destroy all the planet Phase, and then basically all of the Phazon becomes extinct, and like mission accomplished kind of thing. So basically I don't expect Prime 4 to have any Phazon stuff whatsoever. It'd be interesting though, maybe I guess it appears at the very end or something, but I kind of doubt it. I think it's gonna be completely different, but it's like Prime doesn't really have to focus on Phazon really. It could just be like just a first-person like shooter game of the Metroid series really. But of course, the original trilogy its main focus was Phazon, but now it's like gonna be completely different. As a matter of fact, I haven't like gotten the ending when I played Metroid Prime 3, of course, like many times before, but yeah, I do remember how when the secret ending though, it's just Samus like going back to the planet's called Elysium, right? I think it is, which is kind of funny though. It's called Elysium because then you have the World Tree, the so-called heaven called Elysium from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So it's kind of funny how now they both have the same name, but I think it is called Elysium. It's that basically that cloudy planet where you have to go on Skytown mainly in order to transverse and everything. So yeah, just Samus like reminiscing about her fallen comrades, those bounty hunters that you unfortunately had to fight in order to like pass through, I'd say. And then of course it ends with like this mysterious ship that's like following her, and of course the ship that was following her was this bounty hunter. I hope I'm getting his name right. I think it's Silex or something. But yeah, basically it's Silex that was following her, and he does appear as like the main antagonist, I would say, in Metroid Prime 4. And like I don't know what his dastardly plan is, but like basically yeah, he's another like galactic bounty hunter, just like Samus, and and it kind of an enemy kind of thing in a way. They kind of actually used him in Metroid, or maybe I don't think they have, but I think they did kind of. It was like in Metroid Prime Hunters, but I'm pretty sure like they're not gonna like mention that game at all. Or maybe it's probably maybe it's probably not the same guy. It's probably something different actually. Or probably I guess originally it was supposed to be like that is what it's supposed to meant like referencing Prime 3. Is it referencing Prime 3? I have to look it up. I don't know if Prime Hunters came out after Metroid Prime 3 or before, because yeah, if that game came out before Prime 3, then okay, I can't take back what I said. Then it was probably completely different. But then it was like kind of interesting though that they like added that, like, and despite like pretty much like over a decade later, you know, that they never like went back to it until now. Even they just referenced it not having a game plan, but I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a reference to Prime Hunters. I think, you know, that's kind of what it was meant to be, really. But now they're like, hey, let's like bring that thing back from Prime 3 and like, you know, have it as a reference kind of thing, you know, or make it not a reference, like make it part of the next game, which is actually good because, you know, like, hey, you kind of showed that, why not work with it? Yeah, so that's kind of what it's gonna be. Main antagonist is gonna be Silex. It'd be sweet if somehow they probably add in Ridley, maybe as like the final boss or something. Kind of like what they did with Metroid: Samus Returns, which they didn't need to do. Like a Queen Metroid could have been like the main antagonist, but they're like after we fight the Queen Metroid, then you fight Ridley, and my jaw dropped when they fucking added Ridley. I was like, are you serious? I was so happy when they did. I didn't mean to press it. I was trying to jump up. Sorry. Hang on. Yeah, I know. I just want to get back here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And we'll just get that. And then you wall jump here. Okay, yeah, so, what else? So, yeah, so I like the environments and everything. Game looks gorgeous, and it's an interesting setup to what's happening. Like, nice, like, continuation from Prime 3 and stuff after all these years and everything. It's quite surreal, like, because I was just gonna say it is quite surreal how, like, because this game, I remember when they first mentioned Prime 4, and that was way back in 2017, you know, like, it was like that long ago. So it was like almost 10 years when they announced it. Of course, like, you know, it's less than 10 years, but like I said, it's almost, because, you know, but it has been a long time, because the main reason why was because like Nintendo was kind of like working on it before, but then they had to like scrap everything and like redo it and have Retro Studios like go back and work with it. So I'm really happy with that, and I hope it turns out like really, really good, because like I will just say though, considering how long people were waiting for like, I mean, of course originally they were waiting for that, but this was before we had any idea that the game Metroid: Samus Returns and Metroid Dread were a thing and were gonna come out before that, because like, you know, ever since Other M came out, it was like a complete dry spell of Metroid. Like, you know, after Other M, like people were really like, you know, worried about the series. Like some people were saying that it was probably gonna be a dead series, considering the massive L that Metroid Other M kind of delivered for like Nintendo in a way, unfortunately. So like, you know, people were really like, you know, kind of concerned about that and everything. And then people were even more upset when Metroid Metroid Federation Force came out, and like, and people were like, they were not happy, and you know, and I mean, understandably so, because even I myself, I never bought the game really, because yeah, the game, I mean, it doesn't look like a bad game, but it's certainly like, because I mean, of course, Samus is not the main character. You focus on these like Federation Force guys and everything, and also the game, like, you know, even for a 3DS game, it did not look that great. But you know, so yeah, people were really like concerned that they were all saying that, oh yeah, Metroid's finished. It was probably not gonna come back. Everyone's like very nihilistic and stuff. And then ever since Samus Returns was announced and stuff, people were like, emotions were ecstatic, like a remake of the original Game Boy and stuff. And of course, this was made by a new team. It was like I forgot, was it called Team Mercury or something? I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but it's this new team that was from Spain, and they actually worked on that game, as well as Dread, and they were really like top notch with that team. Like it was clear that just like Retro Studios, both these two teams were like hardcore fans of the Metroid series, and I'm really happy with the new team that when they worked on Samus Returns and Dread. So yeah. So because of that, it was like a huge revival of the series in a way. I mean, Samus Returns, it was kind of like a Kickstarter, but it was Metroid Dread that was kind of a huge revival, because not only was that game like fucking fantastic, but it was the highest sold Metroid game in the entire series, like even more so than Prime and like than the entire trilogy, everything. Like it was clear that there was a deep love for the Metroid series, and when I heard that was like the best-selling game in the series, I was like absolutely like like it warmed my heart in a way, like, because now then I saw, oh wait, hang on, I gotta disconnect it, because now it confirmed to me that like, yes, the series is alive and well, and like the talks of it being a dead series was completely false, and I was just happy that like that my fears were put to rest, and like it made a huge comeback in a way. So, and knowing that and stuff, then I was like, yeah, I was fully relaxed and confident that Metroid Prime 4 would probably like be in good hands in a way, and like be safe and stuff. So I'm really happy about that. But of course, like now, like obviously, hang on, I need to go back. I need to go over there. Coins I missed. So yeah, and on to like more about like Metroid Prime 4. So yeah, the game looks great. Everything looks great. What else? I guess what I will now get to is the one main concern that me and also the fans have with this game is mainly the NPC side characters, I would say. Now, of course, some of them looked really pretty nice, I would say, like obviously like promising and everything, but it was people were saying how like it was mainly because like it was a game that was kind of coming back to voice acting and stuff, and like many people were saying that they're going back to the Metroid Other M kind of thing, and like I'd actually like to say, especially from someone who's played Metroid Prime 3, like Metroid Prime 3 was my first Metroid game that I played, that like voice acting, especially coming from Retro Studios, was not a new thing. Like they did add voice acting and stuff to some of these side characters in Metroid Prime 3. Like there was actual voice acting in it and everything, and like and it was actually really good actually, even though it was not needed, but they kind of added it in. And oh yeah, okay, so it was just in this section, so now I gotta go back, and and also like me playing that game as a kid and stuff, I was kind of really happy that they kind of added voice acting, because it just made the game kind of feel more alive, I would say. Of course, and but keep in mind that this was all, like I said, was my very first Metroid game that I played. So like I didn't know that the Metroid games in general were all like silent, ambient kind of games and stuff. So there was absolutely no voice acting. That's why I was kind of shocked to see when I played Metroid Prime 2 and Prime as well, there was absolutely no voice acting. Because like it was not a thing back in like for Prime 3. The voice acting thing was a new thing for Prime 3. So I was kind of surprised that there was like no voice acting and stuff. But yeah, but basically the thing is like, because the main charm of the Metroid series is like being like this quiet ambience kind of thing, and it like kind of enhances the creepiness factor, especially considering like you're a galactic bounty hunter, like battling those scary aliens in like a very like cold, like the cold desolation of space. I don't know why I said cold, but like the like complete ambience of it, of course, and that's kind of what made like the Metroid series like very like much beloved and stuff. So of course, like the added addition of like voice acting did kind of raise like a lot of concern for like longtime fans and stuff. And I actually do kind of understand, though, even though I did grow up with the voice acting experience of Metroid, I kind of do understand, like, yeah, of course the no voice acting thing is kind of like the main charm of the series and stuff. And I guess I will say, though, by the looks of it, there's definitely going to be more voice acting content than there was in Prime 3. Because Prime 3, there was voice acting, but it was very, like, limited and stuff. And as a matter of fact, I would also add that many of the characters there were very, like, stoic and serious and stuff. And, of course, then you have Prime 4, and it showed that there were some characters that were also stoic and serious. And then there were also some characters that, like, kind of did caught me off guard. Like, I remember I saw this one female, like, Galactic Federation soldier, and it kind of, when I saw it, I was kind of felt surreal in a way, and it wasn't, not that it was a bad thing though, but it was like kind of like, you know, an interesting kind of like, how do you say, like a complete, like, you know, what's the word I'm trying to think, like basically this complete change of atmosphere, I would say. Like, you know, do you see this one, like this energetic soldier and everything, all happy and peppy and everything, and like in a huge contrast to the Metroid world where it's very like dark, ominous kind of shit. So it's like, it was like a complete like turnaround and stuff and everything. And like I said, not that it's a bad thing. I mean, I guess it probably would be a bad thing if, say, this kind of thing was like present all the fucking time, and there were like no instances of like most of it being like dark and ominous, where there could be some moments where it's like has some, like, you know, brightness to it, I would say, which, I mean, I don't mind. And like I said, keep in mind there were like plenty of moments in Metroid Prime 3 where there were like voice acting and stuff. Excuse me. Like one example, you have the Aurora unit, you know, basically like talking to you at some points in the game, like in Prime 3, like telling you what to do and everything. You also in the very beginning, you interacted with the bounty hunters. I know one of the, like, you know, Gore, Gandrada, and Rundus. I think that's his name. Yeah. I'm hoping I'm getting it right, because, you know, it has been years and everything, but it's basically that ice bounty hunter, that very, like, you know, chill, like very like you know, badass kind of bounty hunter. He's voiced by Chris Sabath, by the way, which I thought was pretty cool. You know, so yeah. So it's Rundus, Gore, and Gandrada, the three bounty hunters. Like, you thought, you know, like, you know, there was a voice acting between, like, you know, there was voice acting with these characters, but of course they were there at the very beginning. But then, of course, unfortunately, like, then after you complete the planet, like Norian, then they become kind of enemies of you, because they become corrupted by Phazon. So you kind of had to fight and kill. I wouldn't say kill, because it's mainly Dark Samus that kind of killed them in a way, because Samus was like trying to subdue them, but then of course once they're defeated, then Dark Samus just absorbs them and they're like dead forever. Which makes it kind of, which is kind of sad in a way, considering that you like just met them, these like very skilled bounty hunters, like, you know, they're like your comrades and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're just killed off. So it was like kind of dramatic in a way. And people are also joking in the comments saying, like, it was like this one Galactic Federation soldier who's like, I just can't wait to come back to my family, and people are all in the comments were like, he's not coming back to his family. And yeah, they might have a point though. It's possible that I think maybe most or all of these Galactic Federation soldiers, they might get killed. Who knows? Which would really raise the like drama of it. Actually, it would be actually interesting. Like, if they can make these characters like not too much voice acting in the game, but like there was like these some moments where like these like genuine moments and stuff that kind of like maybe gives you a laugh and, like, you know, like interesting, like you know, experience in the game and stuff, and then all of a sudden they're like killed and everything. It could raise the stakes. Of course, they have to do it like tastefully and everything, and like just how they do it, because like if they do it well, then they could do it well, you know. So, but yeah, of course, like I said, yeah, there's some experience, and then of course there's like this one comic relief character and stuff. Honestly, like he was okay. Like, bear in mind, I didn't really see him too much and stuff. And it's possible that he could be at the very beginning, like as a tutorial kind of character, and like you wouldn't see him again, I guess. Maybe he's probably just there for a quest mission. Like there could be optional quest missions actually, which could be actually really nice, like addition to the game, where like, you know, it's not mandatory, but if you do these quests, maybe you get like an energy tank or like missile upgrades or something. I don't know, but like, you know, they could have these quest missions and stuff. This could give you some interactions with these background characters, but it's like not mandatory kind of thing. So hence, like, you know, if you want the silent ambience of the game, then like you don't have to do them and just like focus on the main story, of course. But like, you know, but if you want to, you know, of course, do the quest and like it'd be there, but like it wouldn't be too long, kind of thing. So that's what I'm kind of hoping, and. I mean, keep in mind though, like I said, Retro Studios, they did the whole voice acting shtick in Prime 3, so I think they might be experienced enough to at least like go with it, I would say. I mean, but I'm also hoping that they could like learn some of the mistakes from Other M, because actually keep in mind though, because like Other M wasn't a bad game because it's a Metroid game that had voice acting. It was a bad game because it had just bad writing and, like, you know, bad depictions of the characters and stuff, especially Samus in a way. So like, that's kind of the main reason. It wasn't the voice acting. Like, I could also add people, because people also complain about Samus's like voice actress and stuff. But honestly, with how the game was and like the script, like her dialogue and shit, like yeah, what do you expect? Honestly, like it was bound to be kind of like that. I just kind of blame the voice direction and of course, like I said, the writing. There was like no good voice actor could save this character, so hence like it was bound to fail. But yeah, but of course, like I said, it was like bad writing, like and the depiction of the characters, mainly like Adam and Samus, like was kind of a big letdown and stuff. So hence, I'm actually hoping that Retro kind of like played the game and also like looked at the cutscenes and the story and like probably learned some of their mistakes and like try to avoid it. I mean, because I think they probably did. Because like I said, that game came out in 2010, so I mean, they've had to like have looked at it and be like, hey, like let's look at what's wrong with it and like try to avoid the same mistakes and stuff. So that's what I'm hoping. I don't know if Samus is gonna have voice acting in that game, which like I said, I don't really mind. Maybe she could have a few lines here and there because like I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be like Other M where she's gonna have her whole cinematic dialogue thing and everything. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like that. And like I said, I'm also fine with her being a silent character. She was also a silent character in Metroid Dread, but I mean, surprisingly, she actually, the only time she did spoke was when she spoke in the Chozo language when she was talking to Quiet Robe. So it was pretty cool that like they kind of added that. It was like one of the few moments of her like talking and stuff. I remember the guy at GameStop saying that, oh yeah, Samus is gonna like speak in that game, and I was like, oh really? I didn't know they would add that. Said that they would I thought they would probably avoid it since like Other M and stuff, but no, they didn't. But when he actually said that, I was kind of also expecting maybe there could be like a part where she says like one line in English or something, or maybe some part where she speaks a little. But of course that didn't happen. It was mainly the Chozo language part, which I'm actually satisfied. Yeah. It was mainly the guy at GameStop that kind of gave me a different impression and stuff. Which I want to say though, he didn't really ruin the game and stuff, but it would have been actually nice if maybe like he didn't mention it, and so then my jaw would have dropped, being like, holy shit, they actually made her talk, kind of thing. But it is what it is. At very least, though, he didn't spoil saying that she speaks the Chozo language, because I didn't know that was gonna happen. So yeah, there you go. What else? So yeah. So I guess that is kind of one concern about like the whole like how the character, like the background like NPC characters are gonna be, if they're gonna be like wholesome or like okay or probably annoying or something like that. So I really hope it doesn't become the latter and stuff, and that they do a good job with it. And I do agree though that I do hope there is gonna be some voice acting, but there's gonna be most of the game is just gonna be silent ambience kind of shit, with maybe a few like dialogue here and there, like kind of the same way with the Aurora unit talking to you, because he does talk to you at some parts, but not all the time. So of course it didn't really take away from the gameplay experience. So, but yeah, so I mean, like there you go. I just want to mention, like obviously voice acting is not really a new thing. It has been done before, and I hope they did it well with this one. So, all right. So I'm still looking for the coins. Let's kill these piranha plant. Oh shit. Okay, we'll have to stomp on it. There we go. Yes, let's kill that. So yeah, anyway, okay, oh yeah, there's the coins right up there. Okay. Just gotta figure out how do we get up there. Anyway, so yeah, and I guess one thing I'd like to say is that, like, even as a kid though, I was actually hoping for the Metroid series in general, to actually also have voice acting in it, because like one of the main reasons kind of why I I didn't finish Metroid Prime 2, well, I would say like Prime 2 in a way, but mainly Prime the first game was because of how lonely the games kind of felt, because I was very used to the whole Prime 3 voice actors kind of thing. So hence when I played those two games and there was no voice acting, I was kind of a bit disappointed, because I was hoping there would be more wholesome interactions and everything in a way. I say wholesome, but
I mean, in some ways, there were some moments like some funny moments between Samus and the bounty hunters. I would say mainly like from Rundus and everything when he said how he saved her and he was like, now you owe me one kind of thing, and then also her with Gandrada at the very beginning, like when she turned into a space pirate and like killed all those guys. It was so funny. Yeah, it was like moments like that I was like really happy about. So I'm hoping and then also you have those moments like with Admiral Dane and stuff. He wasn't in the game too long, but I liked how he was and everything. Him very very happy with Samus and everything. And in the final battle and stuff, he was like, I look forward to fighting with you, Samus. Godspeed. And then him being concerned about Samus if she's like dead and stuff. Yeah, I really love the character Admiral Dane, even though he was not in the game for too much and stuff. Hell, I would say he was an even better character than fucking Adam from Metroid Other M, that's for sure. So, there's that. What else? Okay. Yeah, so there were some coins, oh yeah, right there. Okay. Okay, 92, so yeah, maybe these are the last ones over there. Gotta turn the camera. Okay, so there's 5 more left. A couple here. Hopefully these are the last ones. Yeah, these are the last ones. Okay. 8, 9, done. Alright, there we go. And what is this? Okay, yeah, it's just here. Imagine if I die. But no, I know where I'm going. Okay. Yeah, I'm super confident. Oh yeah, there's the wait. Yeah, I let the boulder pass because I'm wondering some of you guys are thinking, oh, wait till he gets hit by the boulder and it falls down there. That'd been so funny. Oh, I mean, it would still be funny actually. I mean, this is a very easy level, so not too bad. Okay, let's see. I guess I still have some stuff to talk about. It's like 37 minutes, but maybe I guess I could just talk a little bit. So yeah, so you could say that if me back then were to discover Metroid Prime 4 and it had this kind of voice, I would have been so happy actually. I know right now obviously fans are very divided on how it is and stuff, but if you talk to me back then that this game was gonna have more voice acting and stuff, oh yeah, I would have been so happy and everything. So I guess I'd like to point to you guys that from my perspective at least, that maybe this whole added feature of this whole voice acting kind of thing, it's probably mainly to broaden the appeal to maybe those who aren't hardcore Metroid fans and stuff, kind of someone like me back then, that I was completely brand new to the series, and then when I played it, I loved it kind of thing. So that's probably maybe one of the reasons why they probably added more voice acting to the game. But hence but I do understand the point that it's fine to have voice acting, but as long as it's not too much and stuff, and then it would probably go all right, because I do agree that is kind of a legitimate concern to have and stuff, because if it is too much voice acting, if there's gonna be dialogue all the fucking time and stuff, then yeah, I will agree that it is a complete downgrade compared to the other Metroid series, considering that its main appeal is the dark ambience of it, and when you kind of remove that, it is a huge downgrade. But I mean, from how the game looks, I'm pretty sure at the very least it'd probably be a good game and maybe not too bad. But although, to be fair, considering how fans were eagerly awaiting a new Metroid game for a year, mainly a new Prime game for years and stuff, and to have that the game has to clear a high bar, and I'm kind of worried that if it's not completely it doesn't complete that high bar, that people would kind of be very disappointed to the point where they would instantly say, oh, it's a bad game kind of thing. Kind of similar to how people said with The Last of Us 2. Of course, I do agree with the main concerns of the criticism of the story, but the amount of hate that game had, because unfortunately it had those leaks and stuff, was quite unfortunate, because that game was not bad at all. People were just literally bitched about it without experiencing it, and only kind of got what they thought was the game from the outside, really. But of course, but as I said, yeah, there were legitimate criticisms of how they handled the story and stuff. But other than that, yeah, it was not a bad game. It just had such a bad rep, honestly. So I'm genuinely hoping that this game doesn't fall into the same category as what happened with Last of Us 2 in a way. Although the main advantage that game has over Last of Us 2 that there were no leaks whatsoever. So people are completely, they don't really know what to expect. I mean, of course, they kind of had the taste of there's gonna be voice actors in this kind of thing, and and they just had some concerns over it, but it's not like it's not like all the it's gonna be a bad game kind of shit. No, they're just concerned, and I do agree that it is legitimate. But of course, I just want to as I said before, that it is not the first time they had voice acting in it, and another thing is that Other M was not a bad game because of it had voice acting. So just like to leave it at that kind of thing. So, but yeah, other than that, I really do hope that this game is a success, because I do want the Metroid series to remain alive and stuff, because it would be absolutely depressing if somehow the series comes to an end. I mean, of course, actually there were talks that Metroid Dread was probably going to be the final game in the series kind of thing, but I mean, does it really have to be the final game in the series? I mean, it could be they could make a game that wraps it up and final end to the Metroid storyline, but they could still tell more of the Metroid's the Metroid story, because obviously Prime 4, it takes place way before Samus was injected with the Metroid DNA and everything. So of course, in that game, Metroids they still exist, they are a thing. Unlike say Metroid Dread, where they were mainly extinct, and Samus being the last Metroid in the entire existence of the galaxy, basically. And of course, you then find out the Metroids were created by the Chozos in the first place in order to counteract the X virus kind of thing, which was a kind of interesting storyline too. So yeah, Metroids were created by the Chozo in the first place, and then the Space Pirates kind of used them as a bioweapon. But then of course Samus then had to kill all of them, having the one lone baby Metroid be her adoptive baby. I say the baby, not getting flashbacks of fucking Metroid Other M and stuff. Yeah, they really did a terrible job with that shit. But other than that, yeah, she adopts it, and then of course then it protects her, and then of course the Metroid gene that the Galactic Federation had, then they had to use that in order to cure the X virus that Samus had, but in return, in a consequence kind of thing, that she would be embedded with the Metroid genetics and herself being a Metroid. She's also a Chozo as well. She's basically part human, part Chozo, and part Metroid kind of thing. So it was very interesting how she set up. And also the Chozo thing was she mainly got her genetics from Ravenbeak. So basically Ravenbeak being her other adoptive father kind of thing, So it was a huge twist of how they revealed it. I was shocked, because I already knew that she was injected with the Chozo genetics, but the fact that obviously out of all the Chozo beings, it was the most powerful Chozo being, basically the head of the Malkin tribe, which is Ravenbeak, So it was a huge twist that they revealed, and I was really happy they added that, because of course I was aware of Samus being having the Chozo and Chozo genetics, but the fact that it was from the guy that was the main antagonist of the game was completely I was it was mind-blowing, man. I was just so happy that they added that. Okay, I'm just looking for the comment. I mean, I think at this point I'm probably gonna end it, because I'm about to be 45 minutes. I want it to be less than an hour kind of thing, so yeah. So yeah, so I guess I'll probably leave it off here. So other than that, I mean, I do have full confidence that this game is going to be really good. But I do hope, yeah, that the voice acting is handled well in that game, and yeah, they don't go full Other M with it. So, and I'd also like to add yeah, even in Metroid Other M, even though there's also voice acting in it, the dark ambience of it, yeah, the voice acting in Metroid Other M, I will say this, it didn't take away from the dark ambient atmosphere and stuff from it, but of course its main flaw was like I said, the writing and the characters, especially how they portrayed Adam and Samus, yeah, that was the big problem of the game. The voice acting didn't take away, and also the cutscenes and everything, it didn't take away from the dark ambience of it. It just sucked. That's basically it. That's kind of what happened with it. And I do hope, like, yeah, that the team, the Retro Studios team, they learn their mistakes, the mistakes from Metroid Other, and they don't follow with it, and like, you know, that there are gonna be like, I guess, some moments with like the background characters and stuff, because I, you know, like I said, I do appreciate like the game being kind of lively, but I hope it's like lively enough to the point where it doesn't like completely overbear the dark ambience of it. So apologies if I'm rambling, but I guess you guys get what I'm saying. But anyway, I am looking forward to the game. I don't know when I'm gonna get it. Probably either Friday or Saturday, because I actually do want to also watch the movie Zootopia. I wasn't able to when I did my Thanksgiving vacation because we had other stuff to do. So I'm definitely gonna watch the movie Zootopia. So I'll probably get that game like when I go to the mall and stuff, because there is a GameStop at that mall. And one last thing, I guess. What was I? What was I thinking? I'm just trying to make sure. I mean, I guess I have nothing to say. So yeah, I'll just say I just hope that the game is a success, and that like nothing unfortunate happens. Like there's no like bugs or glitches. Like it doesn't become a Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think it is, because they worked a long time with that game. So I think it'll be all right. But other than that, I do hope for the game's success. I hope it's a really good game, and like I do hope maybe the voice acting like actually becomes a really good asset to it. Maybe like I said, like it probably might broaden the audience to the point maybe it could surpass like Metroid Dread in a way, because like, you know, with how it is and stuff. So because yeah, keep in mind though, because me when I was a kid, I actually did love the voice acting in Metroid Prime 3. So and if you would have told me that there was going to be a new game and it had more of this, I would have been very happy back then. So, but again, it's not just to appeal to little old me. I would say it's like the me back then, but it's mainly to appeal to everyone. So yeah, so I do hope that this game does like appeal to everyone and no problems whatsoever, mistakes happen. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm very excited, looking forward to it, and I hope you guys enjoy the game as well. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next gameplay series. Alright, bye everyone.